Yo, what's up? So, we're going to talk today about Activision Blizzard again because there's another lawsuit against them. I apologize for the camera angle. I had to change some things up. This is only temporary, but I'll fix it later. Anyway, so Activision Blizzard was actually sued by the EEOC, and that stands for the U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. So basically, what they look to do is settle things between employers and employees that have been harassed or had any kind of misconduct, and do so without placing necessarily like harsh blame or like ousting people. They just want to resolve it for like fix the company so that the people in the company don't get harassed anymore, and then compensate the people who were harassed. That's what they're mostly concerned about. So a little bit different than what California is trying to do, where they're actually believe that the company was malicious and they're trying to go after the company and actually like hurt the company. The EEOC is mostly just fix the company, help the employees who are harassed. And that's the major difference here. So we're going to go over basically what the EEOC actually is doing, what the damages are to Activision Blizzard, and what I think about the situation. So first thing you need to know is that the lawsuit actually claimed $18 million in compensation. And if you've seen my videos before about these legal things, you know that I really, really like Hogue Law's videos, because Hogue Law is a lawyer. So he knows a lot about the stuff that actually goes on like here in a very nuanced way. And he talks about it a lot. And one of the things he mentioned is that $18 million, well, the most that you can really get for the most that the EEOC can really do is about 300,000 per employee in one of these situations. And so this is at least 60 employees who this lawsuit is trying to cover. And another interesting thing is that almost immediately after the lawsuit was filed by the EEOC, the company actually just settled with the 18 million. They're like, yep, we'll put that in a fund, and then the EEOC will decide how to distribute that to the people who were harmed. So, and of course, that's probably because $18 million isn't that much to Activision Blizzard, but it's also probably some kind of look for the, it's probably some kind of look for like publicity, like PR stuff, because if they're going to settle for this, then they're kind of admitting like, yeah, we had problems in the company, but those problems weren't systemic and they weren't malicious. We admit to our wrongs, just not when they're falsely accused, so that maybe it gives them more credence in their battle against California with these kind of claims. Well, another thing we know is that the lawsuit had been going since about 2018. So there's multiple long-term investigations have been followed through with on Activision Blizzard. Obviously the DFEH from California, and now the EEOC from the US government as a whole. And we can't really forget that there's also a class action lawsuit from investors for not having disclosed some of these investigations and the potential for damages, especially monetarily, for the investors. But we also know that Activision Blizzard is under investigation by the SEC for that potential lying to investors. So this is just yet another kind of PR issue for Blizzard, though they're trying to spin it, I think, in a lot of ways. And it's only $18 million, which is nothing to a company of this size. Literally, they agreed within like an hour of this lawsuit actually being levied against them. They're like, yep, sure. So that is pretty much everything you need to know about the EEOC. They basically are just saying, hey, women were discriminated against based on their gender for pay, for being pregnant. They were neglected for promotions. They were harassed because of their gender, stuff like that. And Activision Blizzard basically said, yep, that did happen. It wasn't malicious. We didn't intend to do that. It just is something that happens when you have this many employees. And so they settled for 18 million. And now, but this doesn't necessarily have anything to do with the DFEH lawsuit. So like if women get compensated here, that doesn't necessarily mean that they have to give up any claims they have for that DFEH lawsuit. But it is a little bit more complicated than that. So again, I do suggest listening to Hogue Law about this, because he talks about it for about 50 minutes in depth with all that legal expertise, but I thought I would just give you a very brief overview and maybe some kind of insights that aren't necessarily legal but more social, like why this company would do this. They're trying to look good. Obviously, they want to claim that they are doing what they can, that they want to help people. So if something like this comes up, it's not monetarily that big of a deal to them. They're just like, yeah, whatever, $18 million. And they can possibly, if that goes unclaimed by any of the people who are harmed, then some of that money is supposed to go to like charity for affected women's groups and stuff like that. And then the other part of that is supposed to be reinvested into the company to help with like this diversity and inclusion and not being sexist, I guess. So it's supposed to go into training for that kind of stuff. So pretty much it's $18 million that some of it will go to affected people, but some of it might also just get reinvested back into the company for stuff that they're probably going to have to do anyway, especially with all of this other stuff happening. So they're probably like, sure, it's like in some ways it is a win for Blizzard because they get to look good, like they're helping people, and really they're not losing $18 million, even though it's nothing to them. Some of that they actually get back too. So that's a big issue. And also, as far as the DFEH lawsuit goes, it's probably not until the end of October that we'll actually have a response from Activision Blizzard, because they're really good with their legal stuff and they can like stall for as long as they need to, pretty much, at least until the end of October. So that's pretty much where we're at here. I don't know if more stuff's going to come out, more crazy shit. Like, is there another entity that's going to levy a lawsuit against Activision Blizzard? Hard to say at this point. So hopefully we don't have to hear anything bad about this company until October when they give their response to the DFEH, and hopefully it's a reasonable, well-mannered response, not like their initial response that they had when the lawsuit was first pushed against them. So we'll just see what happens. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Are you surprised at all? I know that the investigation by the EEOC was public already, but the lawsuit happened about 3 days ago, and how quickly they settled is pretty crazy. But let me know what you think down in the comments. If you did enjoy the video, please like and consider subscribing to the channel. But yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Peace.